Hey guys, it's Paulie here from Diving with AOS. Still doing the COVID show you some of my bottles videos. I thought I'd take you to somewhere special today. It's the transmission towers for MBM, which are located on top of Mount Sugarloaf, which are visible from all around the Hunter Valley. Come this way, I'll tell you about the snow that happened up here. Holy shit guys, I've been coming here for a while and I've forgotten where it is. I have to climb the side of this hill. Let's go. Not long now, nearly there. So this is the plaque up here, donated by the Cardiff Lions Club, and it's telling us that the snow fell on this mountain on July 18th, 1965. Hang on a second, let's check the watch. 17th of July, so that's tomorrow. 65 years ago this was snow-capped. I might want to add that the stairs were built by the apprentice training scheme at the BHP Rod and Bar Division. They were donated to Mount Sugarloaf Trust to make it a little bit easier to get up here. Nearly there. Come on, one more step. So the mountain dominates most of the Hunter Valley with its towers over here that are visible from everywhere. So over this way here, we're looking out towards Curry, Cessnock, back out to Singleton and Musselbrook that way. And if we swoop around this way, line over this way is Lake Macquarie, the big lake in the distance over here that flows out to that way. That's Mount Moneybung over at Cardiff. Newcastle's over this way, and this is the Hexham Swamps over here with the Hunter River running along the background. What a magic place. If you're ever lost, I tell my children, look for the towers in the mountain and you'll find your way home. So let's get down and have a look at some bottles that I brought up this way. So here we are at the very top of Mount Sugarloaf, 412 metres above sea level. We've brought up some lamonts from my collection, which just predate the cod bottle. The first one I'm going to show you is an early 1870s J. Ross patent, and he registers this patent. The difference is this part in the neck here, you can see all the strains coming up through the glass where it was twisted on. We have the iconic G. Redmond Newcastle logo with the trademark, and there's his details on the back there. The stopper inside had a lead piece in it to help it sink to the bottom once it was corked. That sits in there like that, and in she goes. That is a cracking bottle. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you is this spectacular AF Moore of Newcastle 7 ounce, or maybe a 5 ounce lion Lamont. There's the lion, he's got the circle around him. It was made for AF Moore. He was only at Newcastle at this stage. Have a look at the colour in this spun round lip in it. The blue's really definite. It was made by the J. Ross makers in Sydney. Looking in there, you can see the rubber that's still attached to this one, and if you listen you can hear the bit of lead in the bottom rattling on the glass. Let's try to upright it so it gets stuck in the bottle the right way. I think they had a special machine to do. There he is, and that's how it would have sealed. Beautiful. Hey, so the wind's just picked up. It's a beautiful glorious day. This one here is a double W. Hutchinson of Hamilton. We call this the Fat Boy Patent Lamont. A little bit wider in the body, bit of a longer neck, and the trademark here is different from the other W. Hutchinsons from Hamilton that I showed you. This is an early one, about 1880 as well. Unfortunately, this one suffers the same problem where the rubber has been perished. That's set in there. That would have went in there like a bullet, and pop, in she goes. So another one of the local companies that use the Lamont patent with this beautiful little mushroom top that's rolled around it, hand blown, was the Newcastle Ice Works factory. They had the registered trademark of the NIW, which stands for Newcastle Ice in Cold Riding Works. Also made by the J. Ross company, who was a bottle maker in Sydney. This company was located in Honeysuckle today, where the James Squires building was. They put out a few bottles and a ginger beer. This was a beautiful one that I dived in Swansea Channel. One of the nice ones that I found at our market, it's not a Newcastle one, it's from Maryborough. Over this way, past those mountains, off to the left a bit, swing round to the right, go for about 3-4 hours and you might get there. It's out where the emus live, check this out. So his name was S. Mansfield, and he had this beautiful emu for a trademark on his Lamont style bottle. It's registered so no one else could steal it, and these are plain, doesn't tell you who made the bottle, nothing on the base, but in this one you can actually see down in the center it still has the rubber attached to it, how it works. That's a nice bottle. So another one I grabbed off the shelf this morning, it's not local, it's from Sydney, which is over that way. Has a beautiful registered trademark inside of a shield. Looks like a spider or a bee to me, but it's his name and letters entangled into a monogram from the company of Henfries & Co in Sydney. This bottle belongs to Henfries & Co Sydney. That's when you finish drinking it, you return it and get your deposit back, get a cheaper drink. The top on this is quite unusual. This is why I'm taken to it. It's folded over with about a 4 or 5 millimeter lip sitting there. You can see the tooling marks around the top of the lip in here. Quite a nice little bottle, displays well. Blue comes up on a white background, awesome. Makes the top look a little bit darker. Let's go and check out the lineup. Let's have a look at this lineup. Here's the first one, the W. Hutchinson Fat Boy Lamont from Hamilton, with the old school trademark of WH. A little bit different, wider in the body, longer top. You can see the chiseled top on it, with the glass dripping down the side. Now we're going to go along to the Newcastle Iceworks Lamont with the ice cold writing. Ice, you can see the frostiness of that. Notice how he's got a slightly rounded top on it compared to the W. Hutchinson one. I just noticed too that the base isn't real straight on this one, so with a bit of a breeze, look at that, they're rocking away crazy. That was made by the J. Ross people, bottle makers in Sydney, and that's a great Newcastle Iceworks registered trademark, NIW. Going over to the J. Ross registered patent special, you'll see the top on this one is different again. Long neck in the first one, straight up and down in the second one, that's rocking. And the special patent, yeah, I got no idea what's different about it. It just looks super different with all those strains in the glass. Old school, iconic trademark on. Then you've got the GE Redmond Newcastle on the other side. Staying with the Newcastle themes, let's have a look at the last local one that I've got. Is this tiny 5 ounce AF Moore Newcastle Lamont with the Rampant Lion trademark. A lot of effort went into that bottle there for a couple of mouthfuls of soda water lemonade. It was made by the J. Ross makers in Sydney with a stunning colour and beautiful shape. Highly sought after bottle. That's the Newcastle ones. Let's go down to Sydney for the Henfries with his strange trademark. I suppose it was easier to put a monogram of your initials on the front of your bottle. It's got a lovely mushroom top in it as well. Slightly larger than the Moors. And out at Maryborough, we have the S. Mansfield with his emu trademark. I like that bottle, it's got a bird on it, something different from a lion. Thank you for sharing these 18th century bottles with me. We're going to go somewhere different now because we're above sea level on top of the mountain. We're going to drive down to an old mine site at the very bottom of MT SUGARLOAF, and I'll show you some more stuff that I've got there. Thanks for watching. So on our way to the next location, the old colliery, we've decided to call into the local area and show you the original sign the Mount Sugarloaf Colliery 1949 with one of their coal skips there. Hey everyone, we're at the old Mount Sugarloaf 1949 mine site. This is all that remains up this way. Beautiful scenery view and some sheer cliffs. Have a look at the remains over here. This looks really interesting. We look down in the ground here, we're on concrete and a set of old tracks that lead off along here. A few people have been here previously and made a lovely track down this way for us. It's right on a ridge at the base of Mount Sugarloaf. Beautiful cliff face and formations. Now I came up here when I was a young bloke and actually found the cave entrance, the tunnel entrance in amongst here somewhere. You have the old concrete steps still sitting here with some worn brickwork from where the bikes have been travelling up and over it. Nice big lump of coal. Come along down through here again. Follow this track through here. You can hear the bellbirds singing. It's a pretty remote area. It's very nice. Look at those cliffs up there. Just at the base there. I reckon they would have gone in underneath it, the whole coal seam. There's a lot of coal around this area here. Follow this track down through this way. Push through these bushes here. And all of a sudden you come into, look at that. That's a really strange area. Bit of a hole there. I wish I brought my torch with us. Let's stick you guys down in there and see what's going on. Okay, look out for bats. You know what? You can feel a nice cold breeze. So there's that hole I just stuck you down in there, and then this is the hole of the concrete platform that's just below this cliff face. I reckon it's about halfway up Sugarloaf. Bit of a brick wall there. I find it amazing how in a space of 100 years Mother Nature, the forest, the bush, especially the lantana, can take back over this stuff and hide it away for generations. This concrete still goes on all the way through here. How's that for a cliff? Okay, so we just got back to the car, grabbed hold of the trusty torch. Now let's have a look what's in there. Oh. There's a bit of a hole there, looks like someone's gone down into it. Delay. I wonder if there's any bats or anything in there. That's as good as it gets without me having to drop down in there. That's pretty cool, but guys, here we are at the Mount Sugarloaf Colliery. Produce one of the finest coking coals in the area. I believe that they fed the Zara Street power station in Newcastle from here, and the lorries that used to drive out of here had Sugarloaf coal written down the side. Here's a pic of that. Mount Sugarloaf Colliery as one of the first automated coal mines in the area, where they actually brought in the machinery to replace the fellas down the pit and the pit horses that used to be located around here. I haven't done much research around this area. I haven't found a great deal around here, but I do know it predates 1949, back to the days where the boys used to get in there with pick, shovel and the coal skip, as you've seen from the old school that we're at. So that's the history of this area. Let's have a look at some bottles. I've just pulled some random ones off the shelf, some nice eyeballers and some that appeal to me, and a really weird one. Let's have a look. So one of the bottles I brought out to show you is one that I purchased back when I was an apprentice back in the 80s for a cheap sum of $15. Ellen Hieronymus from Wellington. Now his trademark was the LNH, his name obviously, and the W from Wellington in sign of an upside down triangle. On the back it's got Hieronymus's Celebrated Ginger Beer. Celebrated Ginger Beer is the reason the bottle took my fancy, as well as it being an amber colour and full of embossing. Beautiful blob top, but it's more of a chiselled square, and you can see all the striations in the glass from where it was handmade and the top applied around up here. Turns out this bottle's a nice rare one. Another great find from my bottle collecting career is when I reached down deep in the mud in Cockle Creek and felt the embossing on this one, and I was really excited when I pulled it out to find it being a deep dark green. It's a W. Hutchinson from Hamilton, just like that Fat Boy Lamont that I showed you up on the top section of the mountain. Notice how his monogram has changed. This is a later one. It's a beautiful deep dark green, full of embossing on the front, nice blob top on it. And when you find these bottles in the water, they all come with the cork stuck in it for some reason. Have a look at that. So just like the other bottle, the W. Hutchinson, when you're digging around, occasionally something pops out of the ground spectacular. Here we have G. Saxby from Taree. He also has his intertwined monogram, a GS there. Now the hole that this came out of produced another one similar with shoulders and 9 of his marble bottles. That was a really interesting dig, one of the best digs I had up the coast. This one, at its stage when it came out the ground, had a quarter of liquid stuck in the bottom. As you can see, it has the original lightning stopper on it with his ceramic top, and if you look just down in here, you can see the rubber washer that's squashed to keep it all airtight. I haven't even attempted to open that. That's the way it's come out the ground, like it was put there perfectly. That's beautiful. Now I drag my family around when I go looking for bottles through the bush, into the water, antique shops and shows. At one of the shows I went to at Newcastle, the wife spied this beautiful ginger beer sitting on the table. It's got an Angel trademark with purity underneath it from W.H.&J. Morgan from Port Elizabeth. That's in South Africa. Underneath here is Galtymore. Galtymore was the patent that's described to seal the bottle. It's a ginger beer, and I can understand you saying, but Paulie, they've all got corks in it. This one had the cork in it, and because it was super fermented, they had to put a steel spike through the rim into the cork to keep it in place. That's a really good idea to keep the sparkling fizz in their ginger beer. Can't beat a bottle with an angel on it that says purity. When you're a bottle collector, you come across some pretty weird and wonderful items. This one's one of them. It's a blue bottle. Hasn't got no markings on it. Hasn't got no indication of who made it or what was in it. Still has the liquid in it. The bottom's not even embossed with the people who made the bottle. And the weirdest thing about it, it's sealed. Totally sealed in there. Snapped off at the top and airtight. So I would imagine whatever was in here, you'd have to break the neck off to get into it. I reckon if I dropped it now, you'd look at Mount Sugarloaf and see a really healthy iridescent glow this evening. Got no idea what it is, but it must be good because it's in a blue bottle and it's sealed shut. One of the rare chemist bottles from the area I was lucky enough to pick up at the bottom of Nelson Bay is this beautiful Hutchinson dispensing chemist from Newcastle. Have a go at the detail on the owl sitting on top of that mortar and pestle. That's a beautiful trademark. Such a small bottle, beautiful detail on it. Not a thing wrong with it. That'd be the envy of anyone's collection. Alrighty, so here's the lineup. Starting down the end here, we've got this beautiful deep green W. Hutchinson of Hamilton blob top with his original cork stuck in there. Sitting next to him is the Ellen Hieronymus from Wellington, New South Wales. Beautiful amber square blob top, celebrated ginger beer. Coming along from that is the old George Saxby's from Taree with the original lightning stopper and George Saxby top. That's a cool find, that is. So happy when I found that one. For my darling wife Sarah, I brought along her Port Elizabeth W.H.&J. Morgan Galty Moore ginger beer with the special patent hole in the side. There he is. For the chemist collectors, and one of my faves, for the detail, owl sitting on the mortar and pestle at the Hutchinson dispensing chemist from Newcastle. And strangely, weird liquidy substance sealed inside of a blue bottle with no opening. That's a cracker, that is. I've had that for quite a while. It used to be 3/4 full and the liquid has just evaporated out of it, slowly disappearing. And if you look carefully at it, there's small chips popping out of the glass. The mystery bottle, I like that one too. So as you can see, there's not a lot left here to show you there was a mine set for this nice big green slope there. Let's look back into time and I'll show you exactly what was in this location. There's this beautiful wall that comes along, fucking not now.